environment. The vision of Prime Minister Imran Khan is that we want to encourage the private sector to create wealth in a competitive market-based system while paying their taxes, which are due to them. And at the same time, use those taxes in order to provide social protection and poverty alleviation measures for the segment of the population which is poor and disadvantaged, and bring them out of the poverty line. Now, if you have that particular vision, then you have many facets of strategies which need to be put together to achieve that vision. And the three major complaints which I have been hearing since I came back from Washington in 1999, in various capacities in the government, in academia, outside, working for NGOs, has been too much tax burden on the existing taxpayers, making Pakistan and Pakistani business non-competitive. Number two, there is too much over-regulation on the businesses, while there is under-regulation for health, environment, food adulteration, and other evils which are so rampant in the society. And the third one, the complaint is that the government is not well equipped to do business. It is for the businesses to carry out the businesses, while the government should provide them a level playing field and enabling environment. And today's launch on the Pakistan Regulatory Modernization Initiative, with which I've been associated with my colleague, Mr. Razak Daud, right from the beginning, is one of the attempts to eliminate unnecessary, superfluous, redundant regulations and rules from the way which is hindering the progress of the private sector. And I want to congratulate the BOI and its team for very intense consultation with the private sector, because our aim is that we don't know what is hindering the business community. We should listen to them, and we should incorporate their views as to how we go about this. So I want to assure you that unlike many initiatives of the government where we know the best, here it is the people who are going to be affected by the regulations. They know the best, and the design and the strategy is really being driven by them. So I want to thank all the private sector organizations, particularly the OICCI, the Pakistan Business Council, the Chambers of Commerce, the Federation. All of them have been very cooperative with us in moving to this path. The end point is a Pakistan business portal where you don't have to go from one office to another chasing paper. You can sit on your portal and you can file all what you need to be achieved, and the back end will process all your applications from different agencies and will come out with the approvals which you require. Or if there is no approval, then give you the feedback electronically as to what is missing and what needs to be done. So this will cut down enormously the cost of doing business for you and make Pakistan competitive. Similarly, we are doing a Pakistan single window for international trade, where we are going to have almost 40 agencies to which the exporter and importer has to run physically with reams of papers and forms in order to get their goods either cleared for export or import. And by Pakistan's single window, we would be able to do this with a click of button. These are the initiatives which will actually bring about the improvement in governance. It will be transparent because there will be no intermediaries involved in the whole process, and this will also lead to efficiency as to many, many days which are devoted by many individuals in getting things done. That will not happen. And I'll give you a practical example of what we have achieved. A lot of people are very critical of FBR. They say, and rightly so, they have been protesting that their own refunds, which they have paid out of their own kitty, are stuck up in FBR for many, many years and sometimes many months. The FBR has now come up with an automated end-to-end solution called Faster, where you file your claims with the documentation which is uploaded. The system processes all the information, and if it accepts, the money is deposited directly in your bank account. So there are no human interactions involved in this process. And I'm extremely happy to inform this audience that last year we were able to process 250 billion rupees of refunds, which were the highest in the history of Pakistan. And the hours required are 72 hours, if everything is okay. And this year, by now, 8-9 months, another 220 billion rupees have been refunded. So that is the power of digitization and automation, that it leads to end of corrupt practices. It gives you transparency, accountability, and those are the ingredients of good governance. Finally, this portal which PRMI is trying to bring about will also solve one of our major failures. Pakistan has a lot of failures in the market and the failures to the government. But there is another failure which economists call coordination failures. There are failure between communication between the federal, the provincial, and local governments. There's overlap, there are silos, there are compartments, and there are tensions between the private sector and the government because they're not on the same wavelength. This portal would have all the actors together on the same page. And therefore, this coordination failure would also disappear. So that is what we are trying to aim. And I want to thank the World Bank Group, the IFC, and the Foreign and Commonwealth Office for their support. And I hope they will continue to provide the support until we reach the culmination point, which is 2023, which you have set as our targets. So once again, thank you very much for coming and joining us, and we want to thank each one of you for your support.